Introduction to moon phases. The phases of the moon are a fascinating natural phenomenon that has intrigued humanity for centuries. These phases are the result of the moon's orbit around Earth and how sunlight illuminates the moon from different angles. Understanding what causes the phases of the moon helps us appreciate the rhythmic patterns observed in the night sky. The moon's orbit. The moon orbits Earth approximately once every 27.3 days, a period known as a sidereal month. However, because Earth is also orbiting the Sun, the cycle of moon phases, known as a synodic month, takes about 29.5 days to complete. As the moon orbits Earth, different portions of its surface are illuminated by the Sun, leading to the various phases. The new moon phase. The lunar cycle begins with the new moon, when the moon is positioned between Earth and the Sun. During this phase, the side of the moon facing Earth is not illuminated by the Sun, making it invisible to us. The new moon marks the start of the lunar month. The waxing crescent phase. As the moon moves away from the new moon position, a small sliver of the moon becomes visible. This is known as the waxing crescent phase. During this phase, the illuminated portion of the moon increases, but less than half of the moon is visible. The first quarter phase. About a week after the new moon, the moon reaches the first quarter phase. In this phase, half of the moon's surface that faces Earth is illuminated, making it appear as a half circle in the sky. This phase is also known as the half moon. The waxing gibbous phase. Following the first quarter, the moon enters the waxing gibbous phase. During this phase, more than half of the moon is illuminated, but it is not yet fully visible. The moon continues to wax, or grow, until it reaches the next phase. The full moon phase. The full moon occurs when the Earth is positioned between the moon and the Sun. During this phase, the entire face of the moon that faces Earth is fully illuminated by the Sun, making it appear as a bright, round disk in the sky. The full moon is the peak of the lunar cycle. The waning gibbous phase. After the full moon, the illuminated portion of the moon begins to decrease, or wane. This phase is called the waning gibbous. Although most of the moon is still visible, the light gradually diminishes as the moon moves toward the next phase. The last quarter phase. About a week after the full moon, the moon reaches the last quarter phase. Like the first quarter, half of the moon's surface that faces Earth is illuminated, but this time it's the opposite half. The last quarter marks the halfway point between the full moon and the new moon. The waning crescent phase. As the lunar cycle nears completion, the moon enters the waning crescent phase. In this phase, only a small sliver of the moon is illuminated, and it continues to decrease until it returns to the new moon, starting the cycle anew. Conclusion. The phases of the moon are caused by its orbit around Earth and the way sunlight illuminates its surface. As the moon moves through its cycle, we observe different portions of it being lit, resulting in the distinct phases we see each month. This celestial dance between the Earth, moon, and sun creates the ever-changing view of our lunar companion.